another episode of Inspired. I'm here again today with Sasha and hi Sasha.
Hello.
And we are going to just talk, this might turn into a rant episode, but we are going to talk about switching booking systems. I'll start off with saying that I'm super old school and I was super dedicated to the booking platform that I had, and then everybody's opinion was, hey, how to get online booking, you gotta and then here we are. I spent 3 days. Okay, you guys, so I had Schedulicity. I love Schedulicity. Nothing compares to their layout. I don't care what anybody says. Sasha grew to love Schedulicity.
Yeah.
So this all happened because, okay, so when Amber has too much time on her hands, same thing happened during COVID. When I have too much time on my hands, I redesigned the entire business.
No, literally, I was like, Amber's sitting by herself for 2 weeks. And I didn't know her mind's going. And I was like, I know there's stuff on Trello. I just know it. I'm ready. I came in prepared. I was like, I just know it.
I'm like, oh, by the way, Sasha, your whole entire job title changed.
Yeah.
And we have a new booking system. And she's like, well, how do you do it? I don't know how you do that, Sasha. We got to figure it out.
We got this.
And then, I mean, it hasn't been so okay. Yeah. So I spent at least 3 days, maybe 4 days, trying to figure out, one, how to book people. So if you guys think you're switching a booking system, I would recommend doing it like at the end of the year. But the problem with that is you always, like in my schedule, it's like it's always booked at least 2 to 3 months out. You're just going to have stuff on the schedule for that long. So right now we are working with between two booking systems, but there's just there's no real good time to do the switch.
Yeah.
But just okay, so we're already taking payments on Square, but just the setup of Square alone, the buttons, I don't know. I can't even tell you.
Like all of it, yeah.
And then they want you to set up the discounts ahead of time on the back end in order to be able to use them to do a discount at checkout. Just all of that stuff. You can tell Square it is more with the times.
Yeah. I feel like Square is more on the processing payment sides, and they caught up to the scheduling appointment sides. And then Schedulicity is on the appointment side, and then they need to catch up with the processing transactions, all of that, marketing, like, all of that. They need to give a little bit more love to it.
Yeah, because the marketing side, like, you know me, I'm so annoying. I'm so annoying. We pay for Active Campaign. And how many times have I come to you like, Sasha, do we really need this? Are we sure? Yeah. Do we really need, because we have Kajabi too, right? So that does all of our like online stuff, like courses for artists, and all of that's on there. But then we also have, Active Campaign is basically the mama of all of our platforms because they're basically have all of our contacts like separated and tagged, and Sasha does all that stuff. I would never make it through it alive. Yeah.
I think Active Campaign is more for like our website, like for our forms. That's like the major thing behind it. But, I suggested we can probably use Common Ninja for our forms if you really wanted to.
Too, right?
Yeah. But because you said Square's marketing's like way better, right, than Schedulicity?
1,000 times better.
Yeah. So, if we don't need to have 3 different platforms, then that's probably the way to go about it.
Like moving in that direction, maybe. Yeah, no, because Square is very easy when it comes to like email marketing and stuff. And obviously they have the text marketing, and which I have never done. First off, I have to apologize to the studio because our focus for the last 3 years has been online, getting that. I mean, it took us a full year. How many we launched? I mean, we have 11 online courses. So that took us 2 years.
Yeah, because we started, our first launch was 2022 or 2023? 2023, because we first launched Long Lasting Lippies.
January.
February, because we did it for
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it took us, whatever that time frame.
2.5-ish. We're going to 2.5-ish years.
Yeah, so we have focused solely on that side of things, but it taught us email marketing, right? It taught us how to do sequences. It taught us graphics. It taught us you're like how it's like light and dark mode, and how not everything translates, and how this color doesn't show up the same color even though it is the same color. Like there's so many like quirks and kinks that you got to like figure out with it. So with that side, I'm like, we really focus. So I was gonna say, apologize to the studio because we really have made it a point to grow that online academy and presence. So now on my 2-week break, I'm like, Sasha, your job description changed. And I'm like, this year we're focusing on clients.
Yeah.
And we have no idea. I'm kind of scared because I'm like, is there enough? There has to be enough for us to do on the client side.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know what it looks like.
Oh, there is. Yeah. There is.
Like, I already have a list.
Yeah. Well, I already dedicate a full day on Tuesdays to client stuff, you know, and then sometimes towards the end of the day, I can move over to artist stuff, but
we're going to take over this city.
Yeah.
With that client side of stuff.
Yeah.
If we put the amount of how badass we have been with the online stuff and not knowing anything and teaching ourselves, and we put that same energy the next 2 years into the client side of thing, sheesh. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she does like a text marketing thing on Tuesdays, and then I was using Schedulicity. So this is the main reason why we switched from Schedulicity to Square, is just because Schedulicity is a little more old school, but their booking side of things is fabulous. It's fantastic.
Yeah, just
it's
the way
so
it works,
easy.
the way it looks, it makes sense, I think, in our brains.
It's amazing. Yeah. So, and then Square looks a little bit different, and you got to go to the back end to do things, and then you have to go 3 different places. Like, you have to navigate sometimes multiple pages. So it's like kind of a pain in the ass, but they have more features, and I think it probably does way more than what we even know it does at this point. But they make it. My thing was so this is going to blow people's mind probably. The thing that we've never done, we literally have never done text marketing. We've never done client email marketing. We don't have a system for client follow-ups.
Yeah.
We kind of birth control.
Yeah. Protect yourself, guys.
We kind of do, we kind of have a way of like, I need to follow up. I need to ask for a review. Kind of, not really. Like, we never pushed it, never have. So now it's like, okay, weekly, I'm going to go through and like, hey guys, like, thank you so much for coming in this week. Like, you mind leaving us a review? Only the cool people, of course. Do you mind leaving a review on Google? Because those are going to crank those up. People are already saying the Google is where they're finding us, because of the reviews. And I'm like, so imagine if it was double that. Like, and I think just giving it as much love is what we did. But yeah, we've never done any of that stuff, and we're still floating. So that's good. But I think, Yeah,
I think for 2025, it's going to be a lot of, obviously we're focusing more on the clients, but I think towards the end of it, I hope we find a good balance between the both.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think we will, but yeah, it's definitely time to give more love on the client side. And
yeah, more like studio development. Studio and client development is like what's happening. And
that's a good way. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is like because like the studios, for the first time ever, we're switching from commission. We're doing room rental and, trying to figure out some other stuff. So it's like there's thankfully everybody's been pretty patient so far, like just because things are changing and we're figuring out what works for us. You can start something in year 1 and by year 2 it doesn't work anymore, and by year 3 it's like, oh shit, well I didn't know now what I know from year 1 and 2, and like now it might be working but I have to tweak it, like so it's constantly like this. And I get down on myself, I do, but I'm like, I get super down on myself because I'm like, how the fuck did I not know that? Like, I should have known that.
But that's what comes with learning and having a business.
Yeah.
Like, like you said, there's no way you would have known that in year 1 if you didn't experience year 2, 3 to get to year 4. Now you have all this knowledge. So it makes more sense. We move over to Square. And now we're going to do texting, because just from me doing it manually, we're realizing like how much people are paying attention to that.
You are so weird.
What?
Literally, I was being patient because, I always overtalk everybody. I was being patient. I literally was sitting here thinking, I was like, I have a question. I was like, do you think? So we're like, oh, the economy's been a little slower. It feels like it's lifting up a little bit. Do you think that do you think it's us? I think it's us.
Yeah.
I
know
think
where you're
just
going with that. Yeah.
Little shift. I was going to ask, like, do you think that the increase in clients' bookings, because I've noticed it happening. I'm like, you think that's coming from economy coming up, or do you think that that's because our focus has now shifted to more client side? Already we're seeing a difference.
Yeah, I think so. I think they just appreciate hearing from us, even if they don't. And just those little like quick texts I'm sending people, like, oh, cool. And then even if they don't book from my refresher text, at least now they're thinking about it. Because how many people responded, oh, I'm good right now. I'll hit you up in 6 months, a year, or whatever. So that we're already creating that relationship again.
And I think most people be like, automate it.
But ours doesn't sound automated.
Well, here's my thing. We have a personal touch on it because you are manually doing those on Tuesdays. There's a personal touch to it. If we just drop something like that, like I was thinking about that actually. I was like, well, we could do text marketing from Square. Like, let's just do that. And then I was like, hold on a second. I was like, nah. everything's automated these days, and it sounds so generic. And I know it's a pain in the ass, but not really, because you get a little cut if somebody books from that thing because that was your idea, right? So I don't really think it's a pain in the ass, and I think there is value to having that personal touch on it versus it being the automated like email marketing that everybody gets. You know, it says their name, blah blah blah, but it's different. It feels two totally different things. Yeah.
Like the initial message I send is obviously very generic, but I include their name and things like that. And I'm not sure if texting does that. Like, you know how emails, like you could put someone's name in it? I'm wondering if we make that switch just for any texting, if they even have that as an option to put your name in it. Because when I get automated text, usually I don't see my name. Yeah. It's just like a quick message.
I wonder if it,
You know, so I feel like just doing that helps. And then the responses, when they respond, isn't automated. Obviously, because it's me, you know? So, but if we switch to that, they're going to get an automated response.
Right. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Like, it's all about like the human connection aspect of things. And I think it really makes a huge difference.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
So I think it's us. I was thinking that the other day. I was like, Actually, recently, literally like maybe a day ago, I was like, is that us or is that the economy? Maybe it's, and I'm like, no, fuck that. We're taking credit.
No, for real. We work too hard. Yeah.
So when you came back to the studio after, so kind of, you know, we're talking about these booking systems. When you came back and I was like, Sasha, your job title changed. Are you having a heart attack?
No.
Like, what the hell does that mean?
No. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, you know,
whenever kind of doing it a little bit anyways.
Yeah. It's just learning a new system, honestly, but...
Yeah, and we just got to sit down and figure out what that looks like exactly for clients moving forward. And I kind of feel like I'm getting a late start. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I feel like I'm kind of getting a late start on 2025. Yeah. I'm like, that's okay. I'm just going slow into this because I'm like, I had so many thoughts coming in, and I did get a late start with like my thoughts. Yeah. And then so when I had that break, I was like, client shift. And then I was like, okay, this ain't working, we're changing everything 180. I was like, if it's doing that, we're doing this. If we're doing that, we're doing this. Like, I just completely turned everything upside down. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think it needed it.
Yeah, and it wasn't too much of a shock because we already use Square for invoices. So it's not like you were just like, here's a new platform, learn it. You know, it's like I already was familiar with it.
And I tried my best to like figure out the quirks before coming in because I was like, she's gonna have so many questions. She got more questions than I even had questions. I kept saying I was talking to Tanya a lot, and I was like, Sasha's gonna kill me if I don't get this figured out. I was like, because Tanya would ask me a question, I'm like, hold on, I gotta figure this out first. I'm like deep over here right now in this, and I have to get this figured out because I'm like, why can't I discount at checkout? There's gonna be a client sitting at the front desk and I can't discount this. So, but
we still need to create our own scheduling system.
I know.
I still keep that in the back of my mind. I'm like, when I see these apps, I'm like, just hire me because I can't believe you guys don't have people telling you about these little things that are wrong. Yeah. There's no way you should have to create a coupon code to discount someone's appointment. I should be able, when I'm checking them out, to change the price and be good.
I'm going to sound like an asshole, but most people aren't even...
Be an asshole.
Most people aren't smart enough to even think that far ahead in the process. I'm literally like, okay, client walks in, client goes in there, client comes out here, client goes here, goes to the front. My brain immediately is like, all these steps. Yeah. Somebody in year one, and okay, not that smart. Okay, maybe that's really mean to say. Because now let's put it like, say somebody is brand new, like year one. You just don't have those thoughts to have those thoughts, if that makes sense.
No, it does, yeah.
Like, because you don't know the entire process yet, and nor have you been doing it that long to know, like, somebody gets to the desk, you would straight panic if you're like, I feel like I could discount this. Why can't I do this? Yeah. You wouldn't know to set that up as like a coupon code in the back end of the system.
And it's like things that are hidden too that is very interesting with Square. Like, you have to tap on certain things that I don't even tell you it's a menu. It's just like, it's like highlighted blue. So if you're tech savvy, you know if you see something highlighted or a different color, you probably can click on it. So that's the only reason why I figured out that you can tap into the appointment now and do all that discounting stuff.
Or even, what about how you transferred the notes? Even that's above my brain level. I'm like, bro, you did what?
Like, the average business owner would probably be very frustrated with Square.
Yeah. But then on the flip side, Schedulicity,
it has a lot of,
I was like, because on break, I was like, cool, Sasha's on break. I'm going to send some email, which worked. I got a couple. I'm going to send, for this specific time, I'm going to send these clients this message. Cool. Should be easy, straightforward. Selected the dates, send, and I'm not a newbie. I've been in these systems for a while. And then I'm like, why is everybody getting this? Why is everybody in my list getting this email? You got somebody I saw 3 months ago that's getting an email that was supposed to be somebody I hadn't seen for 2 years. That's the stipulation. Why are they getting this? Because they just have this.
And what do we find out today? That
because if they pay cash, it's not tracked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and you would never know that if you're just trying to.
So save you a headache now, if you're using any booking system, well, especially Square or Schedulicity, for some reason, if a client comes to you and they pay cash and it's, what was it, last seen or last visited?
No, the cash one was Schedulicity. Square does track it.
But you have to put their name. You have to make sure their name's attached to that cash payment. Otherwise, it's not going to calculate that person. It's not going to calculate based on when that person was in there last. And it's like that should be an automatic thing if you're cashing that person out through that appointment. Because what?
Yeah.
So when you take a cash payment, add the person's name. Because if you do not, it's going to tell you their last appointment was, 3 years ago, but really you just saw them this last week, and then that's going to mess with your email, your text marketing. You're going to send out a coupon, and they're going to get the coupon when really they shouldn't have got the coupon because it's not everything's not linked like it should be.
I know it's a lot.
So just save you a headache there because that was our morning today.
And when you say like put their name, you mean like send them a receipt or a text receipt or anything so anything that connects them to their profile, pretty much.
Exactly. So. Anything else we want to rant about these last minute little booking system things?
If you're switching booking systems, it's okay. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
You got it.
Start sooner rather than later. If you want to have a new booking, kind of, pay for both platforms. And
see the perks of both, right? See what you can get. See the perks
of both. I knew that we were heading towards Square because I've never had online booking. So I knew we were heading that direction for certain services. So I was prepped for that. And I knew, and I'm like, I'm paying for both platforms to save myself the headache.
Yeah.
Right now I'm putting personal times where I'm booking on the other side and making sure that both of them are matching right now. By March, we will be fully in Square. But pay for both platforms. Don't cut the other one off. Make sure you have everything. Make sure, that it's like moving here. Last little thought. It's like moving out of a house.
Yeah.
I've always paid to move into somewhere sooner. So I have 2 to 3 months to move into that place versus having to be out by next weekend.
Yeah. Not having nowhere to go.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing for booking systems. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. And if you have any questions or use Square or want to reach out and ask us, we're here.
Have any tips and tricks?
We're learning with you. But if you got tips and tricks, like Sasha said, let us know because there's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
And Sasha?
Comment, share, subscribe, like, all the good stuff.
All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.